Hello YouTube, and welcome to episodes 3 and 4 of my Owarimonogatari reaction series. Back here again for some more Monogatari series action after last week's antics. I'm trying not to waste time at this point in time because, again, I'm pretty sure this is another 2-episode arc, and last week's video ran long. It was a long one, and it kind of threw me off for the rest of the week if I'm being honest. So again, I want to have more opportunity to talk about episode rather than things that happen before episode, so we may try to get through these comments and the kind of predictive stuff a little bit quicker than we normally do. So I'll just get them up here now. First comment here by Gian Bueno. The wondrous shaft magic for turning monologue episodes into the most dynamic shit you have ever seen. All praises aren't enough. Incredible direction and composition. One of the most noticeable parts of the last episode for sure. It is the best Monogatari has looked. Monogatari has a pretty constant upward slope of looking goodness over the course of the series, right? It just keeps getting better and better. I can't wait to see what they pull out in this next arc as well. I guess a question in the back of my mind last week was the lack of preview. That's because each of the 3 sets of episodes this season, I'm imagining arc today, arc last week, and then a 3-episode arc to finish, you would think. Each arc would release in full, so no need for a preview from that respect. Gian also jumps into Taratsuru, the one-time villain, kind of. It was weird. And talking about his perfect casting, right? And what he was kind of talking about in Monogatari. Like, he didn't accept Augi's request only because Guy and him decided it would be for the best, but because he was cornered. So I guess the part that I didn't understand in all of this is we all know what happens to oddities that are not proper. So now we know that at least Taratsuru can be considered an aberration if he's not doing his aberration nature, that is, around immortal aberrations, and doesn't let them off the hook and wants to get rid of them. If he doesn't do that, if he doesn't go after Araragi and Shinobu like he's supposed to, bad things will happen. So yeah, it's not entirely because of Gaian's backwards fucking chess bullshit. He also had his own personal reasons for being like a little bit pissed off about being cast in such a role. I think we brought this up as well. Guyan sees allies and enemies as a single force to be controlled in a board of shogi, like she's playing both sides. That is her power. We see this play out in the absolutely absurd events of, what was last week's arc even called? Mayoi Dead, yes. Oh wait, no, not Mayoi Dead. I'm getting that from Koyomi Dead. It's Mayoi Hell. Okay, we're back. Never mind, it's early. And I thought that this may have inferred something later, but the reason we skipped the whole Kanbaru situation is because it was different from the other ones. It wasn't Araragi kind of stalking another girl. She was stalking him, which is kind of an inverse, I guess. Yeah, she decided to get involved, not him. Gotcha. And yeah, the lake thing Taratsuru is talking about came up in Owarimonogatari. Take a look at it. Winking face. I don't have to, because Ben-san's got me covered. Thank you, Ben-san. So it's referring to when Shinobu first arrived in Japan. She landed in a lake with such force that all the water was launched into the air. The shrine was built where the lake used to be, but then relocated, bringing the god of the seas, Lake, to the top of the mountain. Also, the park that's there now has a comet statue in the center because we thought it was a comet and not a vampire lady. Lots of thoughts about this. Lots and lots of thoughts, especially around the movement of that shrine to the mountain, Shinobu's importance to that particular location now. You can infer a lot of things about the first, and his actions through a lot of this stuff as well, and how a bunch of that worked. That's at least got more thematic meaning, if not physical meaning to it. The other thing is Gai Nezuko wanting to enshrine Shinobu there. So, like, that makes sense, no? That she was the one that made the crater that made the shrine, and now we're going to put her right back in her rightful place at the top of the mountain, kind of bringing some amount of closure to that mini movement arc thing. Thoughts? Yeah, so that's got my brain ticking too. That's there in the background. Trials to the Plus, next one here, presentation in this arc off the charts. It seems to revisit every aesthetic we've used in the series, because it's kind of recappy in its nature and knocks every single one of them out of the park. I can't help but agree. Terminal, probably the favorite of the Hachikuji openings, all of them fun and upbeat. This one felt like it had the most variety in music and visuals. The death transit pun seems to permeate the setting as well. Scenes constantly filled with paths, stairs, tracks, doors. It also lines up metaphorically where the hypothetical endpoint for Araragi ends up being a platform from which we can propel the story going forward. Yeah, it's very good in that respect. I'm happy that I got the pun right as well with terminal. Very cool. Apparently I'm teaching people things, which is good as well. Never realized the overlap between the manipulations before I went into it last week, or at least considered different things that maybe sparked other things with, I'm guessing Trials to the Plus has some more knowledge than I do about at this point about how this ends, so would make sense there. The other one that came up a couple of times, I think on the Discord as well, is that not many people realize the White Day Valentine's Day connection between this and Monogatari, which I thought was one of the more obvious things. And it's got my brain ticking as well that how we're going to pay this off with Senjugahara, because the whole Valentine's Day thing in Monogatari, because from memory that ends with a conversation with Senjugahara. I might just check that quickly. Hang on. It most certainly does end with a conversation there, so you would think that we would be reciprocating some kind of favor from Valentine's Day that Senjugahara did with Araragi in whatever today is. If we're continuing where we left off, which is the biggest indicator so far that we probably will. I would think so, right? Like I don't see us messing with the timeline much more. I don't see this being told out of order again. Maybe. Either way, the balance is pretty lopsided now with Guyan looking like she has the edge over the competition. A few simple comments to just chug on through now. Kochin, 2 episodes again next week. It will be done. My understanding is this is another arc that will run its way to completion today. I have the day off. I should just record it all if I'm not being lazy. This is one that I felt like a little bit of an idiot for not realizing, because I definitely got the Shinobu, I guess I should say this is J-Putt as well, because I got the Shinobu down the runway idea, right? I got that she was walking down a runway. I just didn't understand the flashes. The flashes are photography, so it's like, again, making a grand entrance. Well, okay, listen. If you're watching this in a weird... No, you definitely have seen adult kiss shot before. Never mind. I was going to say it's like the first time we've seen her, but it's not. We've seen her before. We saw her in Kabuki, just off the top of my head. What else was I going to say? But yeah, the flash photography for her reintroduction was the idea there, with the flickering of the cameras, kind of mirroring this idea here. Nice crisp profile picture, by the way. Jaramero, kiss shot back. We like big kiss shot. I'm in agreement. I'm a big kiss shot enjoyer. Next comment here by Matt. Compliments. We like compliments. The reveal about the true name of the park is one of my favorite bits of lore. The confusion over the park's name was mentioned all the way back in Mayoi Snail, a seed planted in Light Novel 1 that is explained in Light Novel 17. It also explains why it's one of like the 5 Monogatari locations we keep referring to, because it's important. It's actually been important this entire time and we didn't know, because Araragi can't read. Well, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. It's very hard to read something like that. Next comment here by Simon, something of a stream of consciousness, I guess I would call it. This, I guess, to serving to the, I guess, what's the word? Self-esteem building stuff for Araragi and his self-worth issues coming somewhat full circle in last week's episodes. Talking to Araragi's nature of saving a demon and that leading to some hellish stuff maybe being implied in the future for him. Like, again, interpretation of many people through potentially stuff like religion creates what hell looks like down below. Like there's a little bit of chicken egg stuff there, I guess. In that same vein, harkening back to that conversation with Shinobu in the bath during the end of Kizu, or wait, not the end of Kizu, Nisei? I believe that's Nisei. That we have that conversation in the bath about immortality and stuff and the connection there. That coming full circle, especially with Araragi becoming human again now. We won't have to worry about such immortality issues, even though it's implied that he still may go to hell. Araragi gonna live for 500 years, watch all my loved ones disappear, helping all the people I meet, and then dying by saving someone, and then after all this going to hell. Yeah. Something like that for Araragi, you would think. A big old comment here from Benjamin Lee that he lampshades a little bit with his reply here. It just kind of turned into a very long comment. So again, we'll summarize as needed here. The first point here being a pretty good analysis of the black-white idea, again, that's being reintroduced, I guess, in last week's episode, that has been around for a long time, specifically pertaining to Hanakawa. Like, black and white has been her whole thing. Contrast, two sides, right? One side taken over, one side not taken over. Can there be a blend between both sides? What else does the hair represent, if not that? And when we're talking about that pure white kind of right, or the pure black kind of right, or whatever we're talking about during episode 1 of this season, Hanakawa representing that kind of pure white kind of right, because she does the right thing for the right reasons. She doesn't do it for ulterior motive, right? She's the real deal, even harkening back to some of the, I believe this was the Kizumonogatari stuff into Neko Kuro stuff. Again, Shiro Kuro, right? So again, in contrast, again, we've been through a lot of this stuff. Araragi is the fake, doing the right thing, not to do just the right thing, but because, we bring up this cat example, burying the cat because it looks pitiful on the road, fixing a wrong instead of just doing the right thing. So which is better? Reals, fakes, saving people with good reasons, saving people with ulterior motives. It's all up in the air. Different ideas of good and evil. And again, in that similar Nisei Monogatari way, we flip that again, right? Fundamental evil, right? Is blackness the true desires and whiteness the fake, suppressing the fundamental evil of human nature, right? The kind of contrast in opinions between all of Gaian's gang, right? Again, interestingly naming Black Hanakawa to the one that is, selfish true intentions, right? In the service of doing the right thing, she created Black Hanakawa, because maybe that's not what she's really like deep down. Again, we talk to this more literally here, comparing Neko Kuro to Neko Shiro, where we can describe Neko Kuro with fixing an existing problem, and describe Neko Shiro with doing the right thing before it becomes a problem. Was that with the cat on the road, I'm guessing, with this? And fixing something before it becomes a problem, I guess, is the tiger situation. Like, she kind of fixes it herself in the end, maybe be misinterpreting that. And again, yeah, this is a rabbit hole. You can talk in circles for ages about it. I'm of a similar belief there. Similar to that other comment, we mentioned the flickering lights, some classic Monogatari imagery, just some cameras on a runway, right? And potentially inferring that in my analysis of the Gaian versus Augie 7D chess, my, I guess, standing opinion from what happened in last week's arc. Again, it's Mayoi Hell. I don't know why I don't call it that. My standing opinion is that Augie still may have the upper hand because of her knowledge of Dreamspan, so she may have been aware of a plan by Gainazuka this whole entire time. But the counter argument here would be the interpretation of Dreamspan being something that would revive Araragi just as he was. No aberration difference there. And knowledge of Dreamspan doesn't certainly infer that Augie would know that it would change Araragi from aberration back to human, because of the whole Tadatsuru connection and her not having knowledge of that. Of course, Araragi not having knowledge of that until last episode. And my interpretation being that Augie knows what Araragi knows. But yeah, we're not taking that as gospel yet. We're going to see. We're always just going to see. And last comment here from Ice CP. I always feel bad about that name. I always feel like somebody's getting me. Anyway, the whole we're starting our counterattack thing from Gainazuko at the end of last week's episode, exact same tone in the way that Kunagisa Tomo says it in episode 6's Arigoto. I guess broad spoilers for Kubikiri Cycle, but yeah, I might put the thing up here that was posted in Discord. It's very similar. It's a Shaft fan thing for Shaft fans. What do you Easter egg? That's the word. Yeah, for the people that noticed, they noticed, I think. And now I've got the timeline up. Again, don't know how necessary all of this is going to be, but we're going to go all the way down to when I start to see some red. This thing's getting long, by the way. Even stuff like this, like, what am I doing? Looks like I'm going crazy. Crazy person notes. Listen, I'm not sure I need to read all of this out. I'm pretty sure I know what the state of play is. It's Hachikuji is seemingly alive, Araragi seemingly human, seemingly detached from Shinobu, who is big kiss shot at the moment, which is very epic. Gainazuko looks at the camera and does like the Halo 2, we're going to finish this fight. And what else happens? It's White Day, so I don't know. We're going to finish this by the end of tomorrow, is the implication. This would also make sense with regards to Araragi's appearance in Hana Monogatari, right? That would make sense there. So I guess Araragi's gone and done his exam. Maybe we see the fallout of that in this episode. Again, I'm imagining it's just continuing straight off. I don't see how we could go back and reinterpret things at this moment in time. But I have been proven wrong before by Monogatari and its ability to go back into the timeline. So I'm lucky I have this, at least for now. Either way, as I said, I'm pretty keen just to jump into these 2 episodes and see what we're doing, so I'm going to do that, but not without the shill stuff. If you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation, comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord. Join Discord. Love Discord, 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 Discord. I also should mention, if people didn't know, I'm doing Girls und Panzer, and it was pretty fun in the episode that I saw a couple days ago now. It's done pretty well on the channel, actually, I'll say that. So yeah, watch that at your leisure. It's the thing that won the poll that was last week. Either way, jumping into episode 3 of Owarimonogatari right now. Rightio, I have episode 3 of Owarimonogatari season 2, which I haven't been saying, by the way, which may confuse some people. It shouldn't, but it may. It's up here ready to go. I should do that. 24 minutes and 2 seconds on this one. I've got like Starry Chapter 1. I don't know what the stars and planets are about, but sure. Yeah, there'll be a picture-in-picture in the description below as well. And yeah, I'm just going to give it a 3, 2, 1 and jump into the episode here. Rightio. 3, 2, 1, go. Hello, sunrise. Hello, Araragi house. Hello, hand and shower. And Araragi. I know. Well, yeah, that's the growth through the show. Ooh, we may be getting our love feelings on. Well, love comes from self-love, buddy. And you've gotten a lot better at that. Yeah, I guess. Okay. This is all very sweet. Are you a narcissist? Yeah, she's pretty head over heels as well. And it's still very lovely. Okay. Mm-hmm. You said that already. Okay. Interesting. Okay. I think you were already on the right track to doing that anyway, so... I feel like I've heard this song too, maybe. Doesn't even look like her. Oh, stars! Well, that says Hitagi. Okay. This one's for the Senjugahara heads. They're loving this right now. They can't get enough. Somebody's like dragging her along the floor? Help? Oh no, it's fine. She's in the sky. Yeah, the brown hair there's funny. Oh, I love that shot from Nisa as well. Yeah, getting lots of Senjugahara looks here, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe some Araragi POV. It's how he sees her. Don't weaken me, that's very rude. Nice. Again, some nice full circle stuff here, because that's like back to End of Bake as well. Hitagi Rendezvous. Okay. Rendezvous. Okay. Do I have any choice in the matter? It has been a while. I'll say that. Yeah, that's a bit more like it. Okay. Sure. I'm not going to say no. Bro, are you serious? Oh, like an audio commentary. I'm imagining this is exam fallout. Hmm. You're going to be okay, Araragi. Well, he can't do anything else. You're right from that perspective. Okay. Oh, calendar. Yeah. Okay, so it is the immediate fallout. Anniversary? I'd need to look at the timeline. Maybe it is. He did say over the past year. And that's just no good. Yeah, this is very all these shots of the school. It's very ending. Yeah, I think that's a good turn of phrase. Ugh. Okay, how'd you get that? Yeah, then party like it's 1999. Why does Araragi have just go with her? What's the problem? Is it because the guy and stuff that we need to accomplish instead? Okay. Oh, okay. Huh? What do you need to do? All right. I feel a little bit anxious too. That's a bit. I would pry. Well, no, not with you. What is she reading? Yeah, what happened with Kaganui? That's a question. Well, it's not very serious. Oh, okay. So we're just catching her up. But you clearly do sometimes. Hmm. Okay, that's a great screenshot. Kinda. Collector of the Night Someone say what? Oh no. You think she's gonna get a revenge. Is she even in the shadow still? Where is she? Where is Shinobu? Just chilling. Well, yeah, he's involved. Well, yeah, what's going on with that? Well, Meme's still, like, up in the air. Yeah, well, Meme's just, like, whatever. Yeah, she's just giving it her best effort. Yeah, what's on the other side of that book, too? Well... I love this dating sim type shit. Mm-hmm. That seems intense. Hmm. Thank you. What are you implying? I think he's gonna be okay. What? One of my plushies. There she is. My doll. Nope. Thank you, Tsukihi. I'm happy that Tsukihi's having a good time. I feel sympathy for this. There might be something in that. Well, if I pass. Sounds like Araragi's idea of a good time. He seems to have a lot on tomorrow. Oh my god. Isn't that Joe or something? Anyway. Another Tsukihi Araragi love conversation. Oh yeah, this guy hit that name. Why? Please discuss. Einstein? Yeah. What are you talking about? Okay, well, I'm not allowed to go there, so. No, I think she's just like going over her pages, doing some ink work. It'll be good. Okay. What kind of secret? She's got a lot of secrets. I would imagine it's about Araragi based on this exchange. I will. Lovu lovu. Okay. It is begun. Hello, Senjogahara House. Car? Uh... Okay. Very similar to Bakemonogatari, right? Okay. Okay, that's pretty funny. The teasing it begins. I'm guessing the father stuff has to do with the mother. No, it's okay. She has her own things going on. Okay. I mean, sure. Since when can you drive? Hmm. What's the meme? Passenger Princess Araragi. What? Is that a learner's? Okay. Good on ya. Isn't the thing when you like live in cities, you don't need it that much, a license? Why? Well, probably in service of a date with you. Oh, you just needed something to do. Hmm. Oh. Oh, okay, so that's what she was talking about just then. Okay, so future planning stuff. It's cute. Gotcha. I'd be moved. What's okay with not being moved or being moved? Okay. I'm not sure if it would be carefree. Yeah, because I'm gonna fucking crash. Are you? Cute. Okay. Gonna go see the stars. It's pretty cute. It also explains the planet's theme, as seen there. We're going to fucking Arizona again. It's out past the donut shop, has to be. Maybe more accurate to say it's like a California. I always associate like a planetarium with California. I don't know why. Yep, there it is. Okay, please tell me about Hanakawa. I'm interested. Well, that's good. Does that mean she's accomplished her goal? No, it was meant to probably be a surprise. Hmm. Well, that would be a good reason, yeah. That would be the exact reason. Okay. I ain't reading all of that. At least for a little bit. That's very official. Uh, yeah. Isn't that big? Hmm. Yeah, where's Big Daddy Yoshino? Okay. Well, let's check both locations. This is a very interesting shot, too. This is a pen. Hmm. I feel like I know something about this is a pen. Okay. And then you're dressing up in, like, Hanakawa cosplay? I mean, going with someone else is always a thing. Yeah. Not for leisure? Oh. Oh, so you turn your brain on instead of your emotions, I guess. She's based? Girls in STEM? I thought Geo would be like rocks. Okay, she does earth sciences. I know what that is. Okay. Tadataka? Sure. Why is it the first you're hearing of this? What do you guys talk about? Or do you guys not talk much? Okay, this is seems like a metaphor. Okay. Stars like people. Well, nobody has. Okay. Okay. Augie fan space vacuum. Ah, is Augie gonna spoil the date? That'd be very not cool. That eye looked like an Augie eye. Did it, or am I being stupid? I do not know. Hey, we're gonna take that though. That was an episode that didn't take like 9 trillion years of analysis. Mostly it was just funny. We like funny. We can do funny. I feel like this is a cool off. Just a little bit. Just a breather. Obviously got thematic relevance to the Senjukahara storyline, pretty obviously. I'm waiting and seeing what this thing with the father is as well. Planetarium, stars, looking at the stars, shooting stars, that goes all the way back to season 1, obviously. Potentially you can infer that her interest in such a thing. Also, this is different? Maybe? This feels different. Anyway, I'll have a look at it later. You can feel like maybe that interest in this type of science was spurred on from that experience with Araragi. Potentially, even like she's always been good at school. I don't think she specifically had chosen something like that. I'm forgetting the specific context around the stars as well, but wasn't it like the mum used to take her out and look at the stars as well? I think. I'd need to go back and watch Bakemonogatari 12. I think it was 12. And yeah, a little bit of analysis on episode 3 of Owarimonogatari. And we're back, another look at the timeline here. Thankfully, I think that this is a cooldown episode. I think that this is a little bit less involved than previous episodes that I've watched very recently, and I shouldn't have as much to talk about as a result. Still stuff to talk about, I've written quite a bit here, but just, yeah, I think we're finally away from all the bigger stuff. We're getting back just into it. This is just a Monogatari episode, guys. It wasn't like the best thing I've ever seen, but it was also really good, and I think I like a lot of the story directions we're taking. Again, in a season of television, not every episode needs to be the best thing you've ever seen. If anything, that's exhausting. I actually really enjoyed it from that perspective. A couple of things. I looked up This Is a Pen. The only things I really found were about pen, pineapple, apple, pen, if you remember that meme from ages ago now. There was something about This Is a Pen with reference to Japanese coronavirus stuff, which wouldn't have existed when this episode was made. And what was the other thing I was going to say? There was one post on r/Araragi that said, "What does This Is a Pen mean?" And then I didn't click on it because they're just going to tell me some spoiler, so I'm not going to click on that. So I do not know. I do not know what we mean with regards to Oshino's location and This Is a Pen. Thoughts? I have no thoughts because I do not know. Either way, back to square one up here. Episode 3 begins with Araragi professing his love for Senjukahara and comparing that to his philosophy from about a year ago and how that wouldn't have been possible with his thoughts and feelings back then. You could extend friends make you less human or whatever the adage was back in the day, to lovers make you less human as well. A lot of Kizumonogatari through that period was him reconciling his feelings for Hanakawa as well. Well, not fully, obviously, but at least somewhat. And yeah, potentially tying these feelings of external love for another human being and the sacrifice in which needs to be taken place for that to occur and tying that to self-love. You can't expect somebody else to love you if you don't love yourself, right? I believe that wholeheartedly. That's just some good philosophy. Like, I think most people would agree with that. The episode plays out in a pretty breezy way over this portion of the episode, I'd say, before we get into the car. Senjukahara wants to go on dates because it's White Day and exams are over. Yeah, when I say breezy, it's also like pretty funny. I like funny Monogatari too. She wants to make up for lost time, basically. They didn't go on many dates over the course of Araragi studying for exams over the past 6 months, right? After, I guess there was some moment in the show where he's like, I'm going to study now. I don't really know when, but sure. Either way, Araragi agrees to go on some dates, 6 months worth of dates in one day. I do not know. He made some kind of commitment to Guy Nezuko and help him with something that goes on March 14th. I do not know. There is some orgy teasing towards the end of the episode, which I still don't know about as well. Either way, there's some small conversations with Yotsugi and Tsukihi, respectively, about the topic of love. There's still big question mark remaining about Kagenui's whereabouts, which I'm querying. I do not know what's going on there. There was a brief, I guess, almost reference to Tsukihi having a love-ish conversation with Araragi, which is something that harkens back to Nekokuro. So yeah, I thought that was pretty neat as well. Then we get into the car, and I've got it in kind of dot point form here of all the things we learn, because we learn a fair few things here. So 1, we're going to the planetarium, which is pretty obvious. I've said there may be some connection regarding Senjukahara's mother and stars, as well as Araragi and her experience. Her experience? What am I saying? Senjukahara and her experience with Araragi during the towards the end of Bakemonogatari. You know the scene. It's very cute. I like that scene a lot. Senjukahara is in faux Hanakawa cosplay in a kind of teasing way, I guess, in a very self-aware, sarcastic way regarding Araragi's feelings. She's got a ponytail that goes down this way. It's cute. Hanakawa was also one of the major masterminds behind this being a planetarium date, so we can infer some things from that as well. Senjogahara can drive, so that's a new thing there. I do not know how driving works in Japan, but depending on the size of your city, you don't generally need to drive because their public transport systems aren't completely bad, like Australia's. Because I've had to drive since I was 16 to get where I need to go. I have no option. I had to drive. But yeah, she has her learners or whatever, so that's cute. I think the inference is also that they would need someone to drive if Araragi and Senjogahara were to stay together. And Araragi, potentially, if his vampirism stayed the way it was, he couldn't be caught on camera. So thus, he can't get his license. He can't get his license for a lot of things. So Senjogahara is going to need it if they're going to be independent and together like a couple. So it's cute, right? She's trying to pick up for his slack in a weird, cute way, and she's kind of bashful about it. I liked that a lot. That's some Senjogahara points. We don't see many of those. The other point, which I think is very, very important, is Hanakawa coming back for graduation and has potentially found Oshino. So as soon as I heard Hanakawa coming back, I'm like, well, I'm not sure that she would come back just for graduation. She might have accomplished her goal, and potentially she has. She says she's narrowed it down to 2 locations, and this is a pen is involved as a turn of phrase. But again, we'll have another look when we look through the episode again. The last point here, Senjogahara is studying Earth Sciences / astronomy. It seemed like the stars. Because my understanding, I don't know if this is a translation thing, if somebody said I'm studying Earth Sciences, I would imagine that would be environmental science, like geology, or like agriculture or something like that, right? I wouldn't imagine that it would have stuff to do with space. But then we talk about space a lot, and we talk about stars a lot, and celestial bodies. Either way, there's some inference about a star map and what a star map looks like, and how that looks like a fan and Augie. And then we're also bringing in our white-black contrast with the stars versus the empty nothingness of space versus Augie's eye. So potentially Augie gets involved starting next episode, and we jump into whatever Gaian's planning around this day as well, which I seemingly think Araragi's just kind of forgotten about. She said, tomorrow we do the counterattack, and then Araragi's like, nah, I'm gone on a date. Stuff you. Some other small stuff, I guess, that Hachikuji and Shinobu are chilling with Gaian at the moment, so she's got them in the back pocket. I'm fully expecting us to rock up to the planetarium and Augie just to be there for some fucking weird reason. Again, Araragi now knows that he's going to a planetarium, so potentially through her weird psychic link with him, she now knows as well. I do not know, but I can only infer. I will now bring up episode and we'll have another look. I have an opening, and I think there's some new, unique ED stuff to look at as well. The opening itself, just right off the bat, I don't think I'm going to spend a lot of time on it. It's seemingly just shots of, Senjogahara. She's pretty cute. I liked it. We start like we start most arcs. This is going to be an Araragi extended little monologue to himself / the audience, the reader, whatever you prefer. About how he loves Senjogahara. The fact that I feel this way would never have crossed my mind a year ago. If we want to talk about what's on screen, he's having a shower, which is practical. We don't want him to stink, but also metaphorical cleansing, right? He's feeling better about himself. Good hygiene habit versus good mental thought pattern. You guys should shower more. We all should. To love someone was something that I feared. Why was I so afraid of loving someone like that? It's a simple, straightforward story. It was just a self-preservation instinct, right? There's a lot of, when you want to love somebody, right? Or have fallen in love or something, like there's a hesitation somewhat, right? You're giving somebody a lot of power over you emotionally, and potentially Araragi saw that and was pensive about that, as well as, of course, his lack of self-love perpetuating that even more, potentially. So, I mean, this seems pretty obvious to me, right? It's probably the bit of Monogatari philosophy opening monologue stuff that is probably understood the most, right? Like, this is ingrained in a lot of Western fiction, I feel. Yeah, loving somebody changes you. Scared of being changed by somebody else, giving yourself and your personality, however much you like it, over to somebody else. But most of all, it's just very cute. I don't know. it warms the cockles. It's the most, I guess, romantic thing we've gotten in a while from Monogatari. We bring up this idea of narcissism as well. I don't disregard the fundamentals of narcissism. I can't love anyone more than I love myself. On this one point, Senjukahara might feel more strongly than me, loving herself rather than loving you. I mean, she does like herself a fair bit, but maybe she likes you even more. Her affection is a heavy burden to bear, but it's bearable when she shares it with me. Yeah, again, tying self-love, even Senjukahara's self-love, to her external love. Like, okay, let's be very on the nose, right? She probably didn't love herself very much when she was like 5 kilos. Araragi helping with that, helping, share that burden at least a little bit, right? Probably, in that process created some romantic feelings. It's, pretty on the nose analysis, but I think it rings true still. Yeah, again, I'm pretty confident in my analysis now. Again, self-love versus external love and how they're both tied into each other, and sharing that burden of loving yourself whilst loving another is part of a relationship. Potentially abandoning his narcissism, his love of himself over another somewhere along the way. But again, there's dichotomy, symbiotic relationship between the two. But if that's the case, as a human, I'm sure as dead if I've abandoned my own love for myself over another person. Potentially inferring that if I put somebody else's life before mine, that takes away my human need of self-preservation. That's a little bit more interesting, I think. That's a little bit more of a take, I guess. Okay, sure. I wonder how this will manifest. Is Senjukahara going to be threatened at some point? And again, Araragi need to save. I don't know. Either way, we're jumping into our next opening here. It's for Owarimonogatari. It's the second opening, I guess. I don't know why I'm telling you. I like these blown out colors in the start, almost reminiscent of stars. It's a lot of Senjukahara with brown hair in this, which threw me off. But either way, Dreamy Date Drive, I would imagine that's the name of the opening as well. And we have some lyrics here, of course. The first time I saw it, it was enchanting. I feel like these are going to be a little bit lovey-dovey. Imagine this is what... Is this what she was wearing today? She is dragged off into, like, the fucking space here at some point with this shot. Seems, yeah, like what she was wearing today, I guess. I would need to go back, because I thought this would be referential to the stuff in Bakemonogatari when they went on the date, right? When it felt like they were lying up and looking at the stars. Your sleeping face lit up by the light of the stars. The first time I saw it, it was enchanting. Yeah, maybe back to that date. Who is it you're dreaming about? My heart starts to race. Who is it you're dreaming about? My heart starts to race. And we just see various shots of Senjukahara in various fits throughout the rest of the show, looking longingly into my face. Again, Araragi's been point of view character for a lot of this, so you can infer that this has been Araragi POV on various dates that they could have been having, maybe, or have had, or I don't know. It's just, yeah, I think that's a pretty straightforward one. It's Senjukahara looking like she's in love. More than the eternity I wished for upon that shooting star. So longer than eternal, this love will be. This is what I mean. She's kind of dragged off into the sky. Almost like, yeah, the petals, almost like the feathers when she's falling from that staircase upon the first meeting as well. I find there's only one thing I want, and that's you. Pretty straightforward lyrically, I would say, as well. Gets the point across. You could even say, is she like mouthing it here? Like, I love you, you'd think, right? No matter how long I stay by your side, my unrequited love for you will never be enough. Unrequited? I'm pretty sure it's requited, unless you're singing to somebody else, which would be weird. But yeah, again, various Senjukahara looks here. This is very Bakemonogatari with the hair. There was one, it was the Nisei Monogatari when she's on the beach here somewhere. Yeah, that shot from the end of Nisei. I like this shot. She just looks ready. I don't know how else to describe it. Yeah, I like this one. Frame this one for me. Until this feeling becomes the light of a star. Light, dark, feeling, stargazing, planetarium. Lots of things we could do here, I think. Until this feeling becomes the light of a star and shines itself upon you. Oh, and shines itself upon you. Okay, I got you. And then we see that shooting star. So I want to put my feelings in a star and let it shine on you. Sure. We see the stars play out here as well in our reveal of Hitagi Rendezvous as the name of the arc. It seems pretty obvious what we're talking about. We're having a rendezvous with Hitagi. So I don't think we need to get out the analysis pen for that one. We start with self-aware Monogatari about, Senjugahara not really being in the show for a while and forgetting what her character's like and not knowing the right way to start to ask for a date from Araragi. Ask Araragi to go on a date. I don't know if you ask for a date from somebody. Either way, it is straying off her character somewhat with the very intense date me, You know what's very surprising to me? It's that Monogatari has never been dubbed, right? Unless it has and I'm being stupid, but to my knowledge it hasn't. There's no dub to speak of. I've never seen any clips dubbed. Don't get me wrong, it would be a very, very difficult show to dub, but I wonder why we've never gone that way. Have any Shaft shows been dubbed? I feel like Sengatsu got dubbed. Anyway, never mind. Either way, Senjukahara wants to make up for lost time and have 6 months worth of dates tomorrow. There's some broad stuff around thanking Araragi for his efforts up to this point. You've already accomplished your mission. Araragi begs to differ. He's like, I still need to get the results to see if it was all worth it. And then, no, we're enforcing our Monogatari theme of effort being worth just as much as result. Putting in that human effort, regardless of result, is important to living and existing and stuff. So yeah, I'll skip over a lot of it, but there's a lot of cute pieces of wordplay and jokes and that kind of thing in the episode that I broadly found pretty funny. I'm guessing you could probably see that from the reaction. We go through the various 6 months that we've had to endure where there was no Lavu Araragi dates, and oddly enough, tomorrow is White Day, so that's again 1 month after Valentine's Day. It's traditionally when the men repay the favors from Valentine's Day. I believe that women give out chocolate generally, and then White Day is when you return such a thing. It's perfectly suited to an anniversary date. And me thinking about anniversary date, right? You just thought about how you hate anniversaries. Yeah, because I went back and looked at the timeline and I'm like, anniversary date. Not really. If I go back, it's like May 5th was when Bakemonogatari started. Yeah, the only thing that happened in March of last year was towards the end is when we start Kizu. Just the anniversaries with regards to the opening monologue, right? Where Araragi's like, I couldn't imagine myself a year ago having these feelings. So, something in that maybe. Apparently, Senjukahara inferred that he hated anniversaries through some kind of telepathic means. No, she's just good at reading you, I think. Our graduation ceremony is the day after tomorrow. We'll be ending our blossoming days in high school with hardly any dates, and that's unacceptable. So day after tomorrow. So tomorrow would be White Day. Graduate the 15th. Get the results some point later than that. I wonder how, again, when I did my exams at the end of high school, results took ages. Ages. So I'm wondering if they have a more robust network in Japan potentially. Either way, so we said that Hanakawa is coming back for graduation. So that should be like in a couple of days. That's the way I'm seeing it anyway. We still use this as justification to go on as many dates as possible whilst reflecting on many shots of the school, graduation themes, saying goodbye. Here's the locations that you recognize. That kind of vibe from this episode. I don't know how Senjukahara has this knowledge, but she knows that he's human now, so I don't know, that's cause for celebration as well, so we should go on dates. Again, 6 months worth of dates. Like this almost noir investigation of Araragi trying to convince him to go on a date with you. And then I thought that the drama of the episode would turn to something, again, pretty rote, but expected, in that he would need to choose between the Gaian storyline and Senjukahara going on some dates with her, right? And that would be the crisis there. But that's seemingly not what we're doing at all. Gaian's got her own stuff cooking, and Araragi doesn't even care. He's just, yep, I'll go on these dates. If anything, he's concerned that the dates aren't going to go longer because of this thing with the father. If we're bringing up the idea of anniversaries and Araragi hating anniversaries and they're in your mind, potentially the thing with the father is an anniversary of the mother's disappearance or something to that effect, and it's a very important date to you, so you make time for it no matter what, even over Araragi. Yeah, this is where it's suggested. Araragi's like, yep, I'll go on a date. Let's go on a full day of dates. Sorry, the full day is a bit too much. She had something planned for the evening. Early in the morning until late afternoon, it's fine, all the plans are already in here. Have you already had this conversation with not Senjo, with Hanakawa? Potentially. I like this pose, dude. It's pretty cute. Whenever she's got the beanie on, we like Senjo Kahara. I don't know if I'm that simple, but maybe I am. We go into it a little bit later as well, but Araragi feeling a vague sense of anxiety regarding her not telling him immediately about what she's doing in the evening. Again, like pretty classic male feeling, you'd think. Yeah, prying about the evening almost immediately. Tomorrow is White Day, so I'm going out to dinner with my father in the evening. Yeah, I don't know about this. Again, my only thought is it's some other kind of anniversary regarding the parents. White Day with the father. I guess White Day is something that a couple would do together, but I thought it was more of a youthful thing and not something that, like, again, adults, like proper adults, middle-aged people would celebrate with each other. But again, that could be a cultural misunderstanding from me. We get into jokes with Yotsugi now. I like what she's reading. It's a fucking weird two-sided magazine manga thing. Anyway, it's got like this really brutal looking design here, but on the other side it's got like some cutesy stuff. I think it's kind of funny. The joke here is that she immediately infers that she will be going on the dates despite evidence to the contrary. It's funny. You should laugh. There's a lot of Japanese jokes here as well. Something about something stuck on her face, which is Suku, and then Tsukuyomi is what she is. Tsukumogami, excuse me. I missaid a thing that I don't know about. Something here. I'm so serious that they call me Octopus Stretch. Manjigatami? Isn't that... I feel like that's an Azumanga Put relevant clip up here or image. So here Araragi basically spills the beans about what happened over the past, in like small amount of time when he was in hell and talking about Tadatsuru. And she kind of shrugs, she doesn't really care. This could also be related to the fact that you don't have like a master at the moment, so you're lacking in a few components. But again, your whole thing is that you've discarded a lot of human emotion through the events of Monogatari and your lack of person controlling you, I think. I thought that this would be more serious as well, but no, she's like, oh no, Kishot's fully revived. She might come and like bully me for all the mean things I've said about her. Because she was small before and now she's fully powered, so she might just destroy me. I should hide, or apologize, or you should teach me how to speak politely. Again, broadly pretty funny. I like her deadpan monotone through the whole thing as well, paired with some good shot selection, cinematography, normal Monogatari stuff to complement it. Yotsugi broadly concerned that Shinobu may be in the room with us right now, but she's not. She's tagging along with Gai Nezuko, along with Hachikuji. They're meeting, rather a discussion about what to do now, what to do next. I thought some implications were going to be around White Day and attacking on that day. So my whole thing, right, is that our current state of play, Augi's kind of fucked. Like, the most powerful being in our current universe is Shinobu, and she's fully powered, and she's pretty clearly completely on our side. Or at least Araragi's side, right? Like, they've formed a bond over the course of time. Like, I don't know, if we find Augie, just like sick Shinobu on her and have her kill her. I don't know. That's what I would do. But I'm guessing that's probably not what Araragi wants, considering he harbors no ill will towards Augie, even though he probably should. We get a good shot of it here, the dual sides to the book she's reading, almost the dual sides of your personality as well, monster human, something in that maybe. Even light and dark. Either way, we bring up the question of Kaganui. I think that this is a big what if, right? You focus in on Meme, which you mentioned as well, which is weird. We get to talk to Hanakawa and her potentially trying to find Oshino and not knowing everything and knowing her limits and potentially not being okay at that. And we'll see this play out in further Monogatari, you would think. I would think at least. Oh yeah, and you infer that Kaganui went on a trip to fix up her martial arts skills? Huh? And then what will you do if she remains missing? I'll stay with you, Araragi, no matter which like house you go to, and then we like go to the Araragi like dating game here. If it's not, I almost take a screenshot. That's almost very like beautiful. But yeah, this is more what I was talking about, right? Who will he marry? each of the girls. Look at them. I'm not sure you should marry Shinobu, but sure. But either way, Yotsugi thinks she's tagging along. I guess the more serious side of it is like I am only what I am commanded to do. I am commanded to watch over you, so I'll watch over you for eternity if Kakadui doesn't say anything else, right? I'll continue to fulfill my role. Very robotic way, right? So again, almost like you're the new Shinobu, right? Like tied to Araragi through some kind of otherworldly means. Yeah, what's this book you're reading? I can get a shot of it. Seems very shoujo. I seemingly say that for a lot of the manga in this show. I think I got another shot of it here somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Cute vampire boy and girl? Date theme? Senjo Araragi? Something? I don't know. I think this is where Tsukihi jumps in, but there's a joke around like you should date now in case one of you ends up getting rejected from the college application stuff. Yeah, almost fucking Toy Story style. Yotsugi goes pretty limp when Tsukihi enters the room. It's very funny. She thinks it's like her personal doll that Araragi stole. I don't get many dolls to myself, so I'm going to take this back with me. There's something where you feel like sympathy for this specific plushie? Is that because you're also like a fucking weirdo aberration? Maybe. I think so. I think that's what we're getting at with that line and the connection between you two. Tsukihi's pretty pumped that Aragi's now just going to be like at home and we can gather all the neighborhood middle school girls and have a party, which I'm sure Araragi would enjoy. But Araragi has plans. Tsukihi is broadly impressed with his composure, and I'm pretty sure I got the reference right to it. It's this, which is Ashita no Jo, I believe. Anyway, yeah, that's what Araragi is looking like in that shot. Araragi doesn't mention that he's going on a date with Senju Gahara, but Tsukihi can infer as much from his composure, I think. We're bringing up Rosokuzawa-kun, who was basically settled down. Like, that's who you were dating before. I remember the name from the conversations we were having previous in the show. So you're not going out with your boyfriend? Which is weird. A prior appointment with somebody on March 14th means you're either with a lover or with Einstein. When was Einstein? Is this an Einstein's birthday thing? Yes, Einstein was most certainly born on March 14th. Weird as fuck reference, but go off. So Tsukihi's gonna go see Nadeko. I never thought of them as particularly close, but they even bring this up here and say that they are plenty close. Potentially Nadeko's telling some secrets to Tsukihi regarding Araragi, and that's what we're inferring with these shots a little bit later on. Yeah, these looks all through here, right? Yeah, with this art style. Okay, I guess all we grab there is that you're meeting with Nadeko, which may come up in some way or form in today's events, in March 14th's events. It's finally March 14th. Araragi goes to the Senju Gahara household, sees like a rental car that he doesn't recognize, and it gets a query from it. He thinks briefly that maybe the dad's chaperoning them again, much like Owarimonogatari. But no, we're in for a surprise that Senju Gahara's gotten a license. She also looks like this with the big old braid, right? Again, looking like Hanakawa is the joke. For you, Araragi, wouldn't it be better if they tried to look like Hanakawa? Again, Araragi thinks Hanakawa is the picture of beauty, or whatever we're going to say there. Of course, Senju Gahara wants to look like her, and then Araragi rebuts with, that's a pretty heavy statement. Omoi, heavy. Senju Gahara, you get what I'm saying there. She has to be back here by 7 p.m. My appointment with my father, so we have to rush things a bit. Yeah, we get Araragi into his passenger princess arc, where now he's going to be sitting alongside Senju Gahara, who has got no license. I think the implication is that she didn't attend school for some amount of time through that period and got bored and got her license, or at least that's one part of the excuse. The other part being what I've said before around her getting the license because Araragi can't and she wants them to stick together, which is cute. This is a good like 5 seconds here where we go from like driver Hara Hitage, which is pretty good, and then Jan Jajan as she shows the license. That's just good content through that period. I'll vouch for that. Ooh, another great connection here: Senju Gahara and street signs. So she went and got her driver's license. That's nice. Okay, we love that. Just from that little montage I saw there before. Yeah, most certainly that's the case. Okay, what are the school rules? Can you not get your license while you're at school? Is that a thing? And yeah, this is where we bring it up. Again, Araragi cannot take picture for license if his vampirism continued. Ultimately, it seems like I've been worrying needlessly is a line in reference to him getting his humanity back. Potentially somewhat unhappy about that because it undermines your whole idea here. Yeah, again, misconduct. It must be a thing that you're not allowed to drive. Like, I can't scold her misconduct because she's being cute. If she doesn't graduate because of this, I'll break up with you and get chummy with Kambaru. Sure. Okay. I'm sure Kambaru would be very happy about that. Okay, that's pretty cute dialogue too. I'm not brave enough to put it on my seatbelt or not put on my seatbelt with a learner driver. Normally, I'm a raging bull, like again the punching stuff from earlier. But now I'm a chicken. If possible, I'd like a baby seat paired with this piece of imagery. Just again, some Monogatari brilliance in the pairing the smart dialogue with the interesting imagery. Where are we going today? The planetarium. I guess I did want to go back and check. I want to go back and see the dialogue from episode 12 of Bakemonogatari. Hang on. Here we go. I actually watched that whole scene again. It's very, very good. Especially the piano rendition of her opening all the way through it. I came here when I was a child, my father, my mother, and me. There's also, yeah, again, some really nice, I guess, sentiments here around. So I was, again, assaulted by a man. I don't want to hate you, Araragi, if we do those similar things again, and I get some kind of worry from that, right? Pair that with Araragi holding the hand. Great. You just did the right thing at the right moment. There's also like, this is my everything, I'm giving you my everything, putting that into the star. That's part of that metaphor that now we're seeing all the way towards the end of the show now. Yeah, again, I came here with my mother and my father and me. We're tying stars with mother, I think, and father, and Senjugahara family. And then they kiss and stuff, I don't know. And then the ending plays. So yeah. Oh yeah, and then people got mad that I talked all through this ending. That was funny. Anyway, back to the episode proper. So out driving in Arizona there for a bit, we see the donut shop briefly. Then we get into this conversation about Hanakawa. Oh yeah, paired with, there's a shot of a plane here. Okay, cool. And when it's like, oh yeah, she'll make it back for graduation. Again, in 2 days' time. Araragi briefly mad that Hanakawa didn't call him about such a thing, and then thinking about it that Senjugahara just told Hanakawa that she would tell Araragi, so there's no need for 2 calls, so that was fine. Then we get this like piece of contract legislation here. About the, I guess the what's the thing? When you like type down the words of a thing, the minutes. It's almost like the minutes of their meeting. The weather has been warmer lately. How have you been? I acknowledge your intent to attend the Naoetsu High School graduation ceremony on the 3rd of the 14th. No, the 14th of the 3rd. Yeah, we do that the other way in Australia. I'm very pleased that we'll be able to share in the joy of that day together. Note that I'll tell all parties involved, particularly Araragi Koyomi, about this, so no need to worry. So please refrain from contacting Araragi Koyomi yourself. P.S. Do not call Araragi directly. This may also be some stuff with Senjugahara not wanting Hanakawa to talk to Araragi on their like special day. So sure. Also, graduation ceremony on this date. Today's this date, and they're not graduating today, they're graduating tomorrow. Maybe this is the date she's returning. I like how nonchalantly we say a very important revelation in the show that she found Oshino. To be more precise, she found the story around where Oshino was hiding. She said after much searching, Oshino-san's possible whereabouts were narrowed down to 2 locations. I wasn't interested, so I didn't ask for details, but that's definitely what she said. Okay, you're not very helpful, Senjugahara. I wonder what it was. She said the reverse? That her approach was the reverse. Reverse? What does that mean? She was making remarks like, this is a pen. Okay, the reverse. What is the reverse of searching for somebody? That somebody found you? This is a pen? Okay. I would imagine that Oshino found her. I think that's what she's getting at, maybe. What else did we talk about with Hanakawa? It was actually Hanakawa-san's idea that it'd be a good idea to go to the planetarium first. Again, implying that maybe the date has multiple, I guess, locations to it. Personally, Senjugahara, she already goes to the planetarium quite often. Again, we learn what she's been studying, and again, we put that inference into what we just saw from Bakemonogatari around stars, and she already knew a lot about stars from that kind of conversation back in Bake as well, but yeah, I think informing a lot of her own personal connection to the stars and inferring a lot of her connection to Araragi into her passion into what she studies. So based, basically. Yeah, I guess I relate to this, right? It's different going with somebody somewhere. So I'm relating this to football. I go to watch a lot of live football when I can. Going with somebody is very different to going, again, by myself or with another fan or something like that, right? It's a different type of experience. It's a more emotional one than when I get my analytical on when I watch football. So, like, I don't know. I see this for sure. It's different going with somebody than going by yourself. Different set of emotions there. I don't know what we mean by this. As a student at our school, it was rather acrobatic of you to pick geoscience as your science elective. Was that because it was a little bit left field? That something that somebody, again, Sendrikara is a pretty good student, that somebody like better at school would do something else, maybe? I don't know, maybe like a law or something. Yeah, the hard subjects when I was in high school, nobody wanted to do chemistry, nobody wanted to do physics, very, very hard English. Those were the harder subjects, right? I actually had a fair few doing law, I think. I'll admit that I don't even know what people in the field of geoscience study. Me neither, man. For Senjuka Hara, who cherishes memories of going to the observatory with her family when she was young, okay, more context around stars, it seems she has special emotions invested in celestial bodies after all. I think this is very true. So, geoscience is an abbreviation of Earth sciences. In other words, we mainly learn about Earth as a celestial body, I guess. I can't help that my fascination leans more towards the entire universe, though, and wanting to map it out. Again, that word fascination as well is cute. My dream is to someday draw a perfect map of space and be dubbed Inu Tarataka. Okay, I'm Googling that. Yeah, the person first known for doing a complete map of Japan in a similar way you're going to do a perfect map of space. And that's what she wants to pursue in college. This is the first time I'm hearing of it, but my girlfriend is striving to become an astronaut. Well, I think you're misinterpreting things a little bit. She's not really an astronaut, but sure. We get to our conversation about a map of space. Most of space is a vacuum, and galaxies, groups of stars, are sporadically placed in it. It's almost like stars are like people, clumping into small little connections together rather than being perfectly spaced out. Yeah, stars clump up and exist terribly out of space. A map of space is a diagram of that. Perhaps stars are like people and easily feel lonely. Gotcha. Yeah, again, relating that to Senjuka Hara's feelings around groups of people, potentially family and lovers, and everything else in between. Even the friend group she has now, at least she's friends with Hanakawa and talks with Kambara. So, I don't know. She has friends, I think. And then we get to the last point of the episode. A map of space isn't a square like a map of the world or Japan. It's the shape of a fan. And she says orgy, because orgy is the word for fan. And we see this orgy, space fan, white, dark, space, jumbo. To that word, I don't react, is Aragi's last line there before we fade to black. Get one eye opening. I can't help but think it's Augie's eye, even though I don't have it right in front of me. It's something about, again, the darkness in the eye. And then into the ED. I don't think I need to spend too much time here in the ED. I just noted that a few of that's not Hachikuji anymore, right? It's the white and black of a Senjuka instead, right? And we get a various shots of Senjuka through it, and then ending on a shot where it used to just be you, and you, but now Senjuka is joined as well. So yes, I agree with everything I just said. Which why else would I say it? Onwards and upwards with episode 3, though. Not episode 3, episode 4. This one was really good. I also feel like it was a bit of a calm down, but I still talked about it for an hour. So, the power of Monogatari, ladies and gentlemen. Straight back into episode 4. I've got it up here ready to go. I've got the opening just straight off rip right in front of me. 24 minutes and 3 seconds on this one. Sync up accordingly. It'll be the same picture in picture link, and I'm just going to give it a 3, 2, 1. Radio? 3, 2, 1. Go. Yeah, and we're back. Did I put the subs on? I hope I put the subs on. Yes, I did. That's good. Again, pretty straightforward lyrically in the opening, in my opinion. Yeah, it's just comfy. I like the song. I've definitely heard it before somewhere. I didn't know it was from Monogatari, though. Yeah, all the different versions of Senjo. Almost like we're going on 6 months worth of dates within the opening itself. Something in that. I'm happy she's getting some screen time. I really am. I think she's been kind of shafted. Pardon the pun. Um, and yeah, it's nice to see her. I feel like she's hardly in the show relative to, again, her status as probably one of the major characters. Okay. Hello, stars. Oh no. Hello. I know. Okay. Is this real or fake? Thank you. Why are we in a dream with Augie? What? Rival. Australia mentioned? Let's go, chat. Southern Cross mentioned? Okay, I don't know any of these, but sure, go off. Not a snake. Oh no. I do not know any of this, but sure. Bring up almost a comet with her before. Okay. Well, when you cut off one head, yeah. Cut off one head, it keeps going. It's been a pretty constant metaphor for villains, especially persistent villains. Okay. What? Okay. Crab equals Senjo. Okay. Crab mentioned. Why are you in my dreams? Yeah? Go on. No, I don't know. Yes, of course she is. It's a leading question. Oh, are we doing like an Araragi forgot thing again? Okay. What? What is happening? Why? I wanted a nice, easy episode, guys. Oh, man. Hmm. Okay. Well, that's interesting considering current context. So is Araragi. Are you saying there's going to be some recompense for... Yeah, for reviving Araragi? Yeah. I don't know. Are you God? I thought he said sit on my face. I don't know why I misread that. What? Why? What? Yeah. Okay, is he remembering? The music's going off? Okay, we just talked about this before. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, you love Zero. We know that. Hmm. Okay. Sure. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Pure white kind of right? Or pure black, in your case? Eject those that have broken the rules. Okay. Get out of my head, please. Okay, you creepy dream person. Okay. Teasing me next time we see each other? Okay. I am a map of space. I am the universe. Okay, I won't. Yeah. Again, you want to correct things broadly. Well, I'm not being taken in by your slick talk either. Well, no. I don't think I will. But thanks for trying. You slept through your planetarium date? How rude. Oh, you slept too? Feet? Sure. Please don't speak in riddles. Okay. That's a new one. Well, you guys just came off exams. You guys have a right to be a bit sleepy. Yeah. What's wrong with that? Looks pretty comfy. Plenty of people around. Okay, this is a fun date. Okay. Bowling, karaoke, science museum, 300. He's going to use the thing where you like push it down the ramp. Yeah. Uh, okay. Is it? I think you'll love it. I think that's more your speed. Oh, look at these two. I wish the start of the episode didn't happen. What if we just cut that portion out and just like pretend it's happy for a little bit and that there isn't this big, old, ominous metaphor in the foreground of everything or background, depending on your perspective? Aw, you got bamboozled. Okay, the latte art's pretty funny. I don't think he lied. I think you're just trash. Did she throw? Oh. Well, as long as she isn't like exhausted. No, this isn't Aragi's speed. He wants to be the one that gets asked upon, not the other way around. No, you don't want to know. Yeah, of course. Naturally. Paired with the strike. Oh, so he told her about what happened. Okay. I know. Perhaps you're the opponent? Again, broadly, Guyan's like still sus, but okay. You got me all very confused. I think they were singing Renault Circulation. Oh, and of course you're gonna sing this. Okay, great. How's she not 100%? You literally sing the song. Yeah, I'd be pretty happy with an 82. Hmm. No, it's expectation versus reality, and the difference there between that makes people disappointed. Wherever heard that song? Is that like the same score? Okay, no. Yeah, is she throwing? Thoughts? Yeah, okay, she's throwing. Yeah, I think you're throwing for specific reasons. No, I'd never say that. Okay, you two, get a room. It feels like he does it a lot. Well, hmm. Somebody else just saw Hell like a couple episodes ago. Wasn't great. Okay, that's good. That's good to know, the other way. What is the shot? Okay, sure. Pop off. My presence is a present. I don't think the show can wait that many days. I feel like things are all happening very quickly. Hmm. I think Araragi should still buy a present. What? Is it close to 7 or something? What is? Okay. What? I think she's baiting you. I've been kind of busy. I don't know. What? Yeah, that's. Please don't. That'd be bad. Oh, birds. Okay. Master manipulator. She has rat cunning. Yeah. She did say the marriage proposal thing before. Or Hitagi. No, the other one. Come on, even I know this. I can't believe you guys haven't done this. Okay, that sounds like a pretty good present. Well, yeah, giving one's self over to another person. The theme of the arc, broadly. Ugh. Gave me kind of like ick vibes of that guy. I don't know about that. I don't know. I like Senju Gahara, though. It's very pretty as well. Is that the end of the episode? What about all that orgy stuff? I thought that was oh, post credit. Okay. I was like, we can't just let that sit. There's something's on the horizon. So yeah, an episode of two sides for sure. That starting portion convinced me that I should break for today, after the end of this episode, and leave a lot of that for tomorrow. Leave for a fresh brain, for a fresh look, because right now I'm a little bit not all there with regards to that, and I don't feel like I'll give it its due. Um, with the Senju Gahara stuff through the middle, it's just nice, right? We're setting up this part basically around her wanting or purposely losing certain things to get Araragi to ask her to do things. Earlier, I thought that potentially it was a little bit more sexually motivated, but not as much anymore. It's a little bit sweeter than that around the use of the first names. Names? Very Australian there. Names. Um, but yeah, I don't know what's going to come of all that orgy stuff. That seemed pretty bad. And some more ominous signs around Guyan as well, as a response. Sure. Oh, it's very dark. Hello. Hello, Augie. Seems to be pretty late at night. It's very dark. How were you in my dreams? Well... What do you know? Yeah, the specialist himself. Disagree. No. Yeah. Path. Path mentioned. I'll withdraw. Just stop bothering me. You're a botherer. Well, you are. Metaphorically. Hmm. Yeah, it's about the shrine. Right? Not really. Okay, you're motivated. What? I'll play your role? No? I don't think so. He always helps a girl in need, though. He always helps a girl in need. Okay. Augie asking Araragi for help in a pretty straightforward way. Against Guy. Can we have our cake and eat it too? I do not know. I know broadly where Aragi's never really been mean to. Like, okay, listen, there's many, like, thoughts that are probably incorrect, but I'm thinking right now. Is that Augie, like, Aragi, Augie's role in the story and the path she's chosen, everything in the story up to this point would make sense for Guyan to go on the counterattack and win, right? It would make sense there. I think what we're doing is very subversive with Augie and her knowledge of her place in the story, again, based on her character, and she's going to Araragi and pleading for some kind of breaking out of her role right now. Again, broad thoughts that are probably not all that backed up with anything else at the moment, but that's what I'm thinking. And yeah, this episode convinced me that I'll be back tomorrow to talk about whatever the hell I can from the starting portion. It will be rough. I'm telling you right now. That is very tough to understand. I do not know much about constellations to pull upon. So, sure. Something about a snake, something about immortality, something about getting punished, I guess, by God, or whatever it is, the universe itself. Augie is the laws of the universe. What is happening? Yeah, anyway, we're leaving it for tomorrow. You'll see me tomorrow. Goodbye. And it's the next day. We're back. We're back with this very confusing episode in front of me. As a result, I've kind of foregone the summary at this point, because I think I would just be doing a lot of the same work I'm going to be doing now if I tried to summarize what I saw in the first half of yesterday's episode. I'll reiterate my major point. It's an episode of two halves. It's an episode where a large chunk of it is, hey, Augie's like fucked, right? And we don't know what's going on there. At least me right here in this moment doesn't know what's going on. We're going to attempt to find that out now. And the other half being lovey-dovey Senjugahara Araragi stuff, which again is something I've briefly talked about again yesterday. Something that I think is largely missing from the show is dead-ass just content of the main couple being a couple, right? And again, we've made inferences as to why it's been missing in the past, as Araragi is the point of view character, and the audience exists as a kind of construct within Monogatari, the reader / the watcher, depending on how you're consuming it, and he doesn't want to divulge such things with such a person. That being us, right? It can simultaneously be seen as kind of a cop out and kind of genius IMO. Either way, just kind of sitting here postulating about certain stuff isn't going to get anything else done. Just wanted to say that the Senjugahara stuff is really welcome and nice, and really executed quite well as well. I do like the little meta story there. But yes, let's get into this Augie stuff, which I think will make the bulk of the discussion here at least. So if we remember episode 3 ended on kind of like a pure black screen, looking like the fan of the space world. If that makes any sense. And then Augie's eye opening. I see this as the start of the dream sequence we see now, which is Araragi like essentially dreaming of Augie, and Augie communicating through Araragi's dreams. Unsure how much of this is literal and how much of this is, again, like a weird metaphor thing. Maybe she's actually there, maybe she's not. Maybe she can literally astro project herself into Araragi's mind. Maybe not. I don't really think it's that important. So we're going to continue to the actual content of what Augie starts to speak about. At first, just seeing her and her like saying such things after the end of last episode, which was broadly quite nice, Senjugahara stuff. Seeing her again like this, it's just like, what do you want? Please. And of course, we're running a study session, much like, again, alluding back to the classroom and that kind of thing. It'll be interesting to view this with the context of the end of the episode as well, which I see almost as a plea for help from Araragi, right? Knowing how this story will end, knowing one's place in said story, and appealing to Araragi's, I don't know, sense. Is that the right word? I do not know. But appealing to Araragi to help her instead of helping Gai Nezuko, which would be the most obvious thing to do in the world, considering Hachikuji, considering Shinobu, considering the events of Maui Hell. It seems pretty obvious. I don't know, but we're gonna rock with it. We're gonna see what Araragi chooses as of next episode. And if I had to guess, we're probably gonna start an Augie arc. It's about that time in the story to figure out what's actually going on here, I would think. Right? I got a feeling that you're not Oshino's niece. Well, that's not the only thing you have going on anyway. And yeah, it's all about constellations, right? Kind of invoking the planetarium theme, of course, as well as the Senjugahara stars stuff we've been talking about this entire time. So we'll put together my star of love for you. The stars up there represent my love for you in a way. Are we playing off that with Augie somehow? Do not know. It's up in the air. We're comparing constellations as it pertains to Northern and Southern Hemisphere. Australia mentioned moment. Australians, all please clap your hands together at once. Please sing Waltzing Matilda quickly, please. What else? Other shrimp on the Barbie? It's not even Australian, by the way. We call them prawns. Anyway, I'm rambling. I don't know much about constellations, so you're going to have to bear with me. I think the most important one, or one of the most important ones we talk about, is here the Hydrus, and how that invokes the Hydra, and it's in two halves, and there's some person trying to grab onto both halves or something. Again, we will reread here. Snake with a water radical feels important too. Again, with the whole snake, lake, mountain, shrine stuff. I don't know, something here maybe. Yeah, how do you measure the size of a constellation? Interesting. Because again, all these stars are fucking light years away, right? Anyway, whatever. We're focusing on this Hydra idea. If we want to talk about a Hydra from mythology, you cut off one head and two more grow back. And that's been used as an extended metaphor through many pieces of media over many pieces of time, right? You normally use it associated with a villainous organization where you can't quite snuff it out. Thinking most famously in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I'm sure it's been used elsewhere that's escaping me right now. Hydra is, yeah, it's like an evil word. We don't like it. And this Hydra, it reminds me of Kiss Shot, Acerola, Orion, Heart Under Blade. Orion's interesting. But what was I going to say? Yeah, so like Kiss Shot, we get Kiss Shot origin stuff. Obviously, like I joked that she like came from space and was like an alien this whole time. That would be kind of funny. But I think it's more invoking the idea of the comet hitting the lake, which created the shrine, which you're being coy about, I think, right? And somebody mentioned that there was like a comet within the, I guess, design of Namashiro Park as well. So, overall the visual design here is quite nice. Augie just, existing. And you get like sporadic looks at Araragi, always in shadow, always the blue light there. So yeah, Hydra reminds me of Kiss Shot in that you keep killing her and she keeps coming back. I guess that's true. And I guess almost invoking, like in a storytelling way, the idea of a classic Greek myth, which is one of the first examples of stories throughout history and the basis for a lot of Western fiction, as well as probably Eastern fiction now that I'm thinking about it. So yeah, I mean, the show that's called Story ending with inferences to the first stories is probably meaningful, right? So again, I'm not really getting much further here into understanding what you're even talking about. So you say that you can't really use the same method that you used to kill the Hydra or Hercules did. Heracles, we can do that. Back in the day, where he kind of burned the ends of the heads, couldn't really apply that to Kiss Shot really. But interestingly enough, a crab from Cancer sided with the Hydra and attacked Heracles, right? Listen, who is Heracles in our metaphor? Because crab from Cancer, that makes sense. That's probably a Senjugahara. Hydra, Shinobu, attacked Heracles. The main hero? Who's the main hero here? Probably Araragi. But then what does this mean? Is this like a literal illusion, or am I taking it too far? Or will be revealed at some point in time, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, like, challenging something with the Senjugahara. I get the metaphor, sure. And yeah, Augie wants Araragi to tell Senjugahara about this for some reason. We talk about a different constellation called Serpens, said to have a special characteristic that's unique among all 88 constellations in the sky. Do you know what it is, Araragi? And then he remarks that he doesn't know. Again, where have we heard that one before? Plenty of times. Yeah, I don't know, but you know Araragi Senpai fucking shines a laser pointer into his eye, and then in reality you should know what it is. Serpens is the only constellation that exists split into eastern and western parts. Okay, and then we infer something about somebody in between. But this isn't Hydra? I don't think it is. No, this is Hydra. Serpens is different. Okay, cool. I guess the laser pointer's like she's teaching a class. Okay, well, she's not just being like a fiend, like just being annoying. Okay, cool. Okay, so Serpent's cut in two. This represents immortality. It's still alive despite its body being chopped in half. I mean, a lot of this snake stuff ties into like a lot of stuff. Snake Shrine, Shirahebi Shrine, Nadeko story stuff. Kuchinawa, something? Sure. There's been more snake stuff as it pertains to, like, even recently, like the snake put down to get Araragi back up out of hell, seemingly. Well, Araragi senpai, it seems you have your body chopped right in half rather often as well. Ha ha ha. Okay. And yeah, in between Serpens, the one chopped in half, is Ophisicus? Ophisicus? We're going to say Ophisicus. So what does this mean? Immortality. You're holding immortality together. Are you Araragi? Is Snake almost Shinobu in this sense, right? That, like, it's been like a shared immortality thing. right? You just exist holding the two parts together. And then we change his name to Asclepios. Asclepios' medical skills were honed remarkably quickly, and they reached the point where he could resurrect the dead. Okay, well, we've definitely gone through some resurrection of the dead stuff recently, right? Through both Mayoi and Araragi himself. Oh yeah, then we get into this part, right? This was going too far. This was against the rules. The sage physician went beyond his means and tried to play God in a way, right? He went against the logic of the world, provoking the wrath of Hades, god of the underworld. He was struck by lightning and literally placed in the heavens. And again, as in our classic like Greek myth, what is this trying to tell us? This is trying to tell us not to play God, not to try to be as holy as these beings, right? As these gods, because there's hubris to it. There's divine retribution if you try such a thing. We're applying that similar divine retribution. Okay, so now like we're saying you're almost Gaian, right? Because you did thing, you tried to do immortality or raise the dead, and that kind of thing, and we're implying that Gaian may be punished for doing a similar thing by the rules of the universe, right? Whatever divine intervention is, Orgi later describes herself as some variation of the rules of the universe as well, the principles of it all. Ononoki Yotsugi-chan is also among those who are resurrected after death. All parties responsible for her resurrection faced retaliation. We saw Tadatsuru there, Kageno Yozuru, Oshino Meme, Kaiki Deshu. So all those parties were punished in some way because of this. Okay, now this is interesting, right? So let's go through it. Kagenui, missing. We don't know. Kaiki, he got his fucking face smashed in by some kid, right? And then he had bandages all over. I remember that. Oshino Meme, we have no idea about. And Tadatsuru ended up in frickin' hell and ended up being used as part of your plan. So again, if you're being seen as the principles of the universe, are you, again, trying to make things right, trying to make things correct, trying to provide such divine retribution? Is that part of your motivation? Had curses placed on their bodies? I do not know. We will continue to study that storyline because I think I found something there. If that's the case, then what kind of penalty will Gaian-san pay in the future for bringing Araragi-senpai back from hell? I don't know, but I feel like you're going to be responsible either way, and then in the end of the episode you're asking for Araragi's help? That's very suspect, right? Should we trust you? Probably not. But again, I continuously see Araragi at least being like someone nice to Orgi, right? Still hearing her out despite everything, right? Not seeing the bad side all the time. Even towards the end of the episode when he confronts her about, like, why did you try to have me killed? Like, he still doesn't harbor any ill will there, I don't think anyway, so. But again, just a watch. We interrupt this line of thought with Araragi telling Orgi to move because that's Senjogaharu's seat. I never had any intention of taking over the throne of the main heroine. I mean, yeah, you don't. You want to be something else in the story instead, I think. I wouldn't mind striving to be a little sister character. Ha ha ha. No, but then like a smile too. Did that like infer something? I don't know, probably. And then it's like I wouldn't mind being Karen, but Tsukihi on the other hand? What did you say? Karen aside, I wouldn't want to compete with Tsukihi-chan. And then we duck into you thinking about Tadatsuru's words. So I don't know what you mean by this. I mean, wouldn't want to compete against Tsukihi? She's like a phoenix person. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. The music starts to pop off here. The violins go. It feels like some real villain type music. Araragi starts to query in his own mind about, again, who requested his extermination via Tadatsuru. We get into conversations about what is right, what is wrong, what is Orgi's true identity. Apparently all of these things and more will be revealed the next time we speak, eye to eye, towards the end of the episode. So, again, this is bringing up one of the major themes of the entire show now, all the way back to Nisei Monogatari, in my opinion, about what is right, what is wrong. Should you do something right the first time or make up for something that's wrong? Are people inherently good? Are they inherently bad? You know, we've had these conversations before. It's interesting where Augie lands on it, and that kind of pitch black type of right of correcting mistakes rather than doing things right the first time. Yeah, Augie's arguing her point here. To win, it's absolutely necessary to lose somewhere along the way. You can't be completely right all the time. Being righteous doesn't mean you should always do the right thing. A mistake is always made when you try to do the right thing, and in a way, in the end, it all balances out to zero. Zero, Augie metaphor, Euler's identity is black, zero, color, words. So whilst Kaganui and the Fire Sisters claim one way of life is better, the way of justice, it isn't necessarily doing the right thing. And yeah, we can almost see their point of view in their justice endeavors. Take the Fire Sisters as the example, right? They're never openly doing the right thing. They're judging, right? They're instigating justice. There's a wrongdoing first, and we're correcting that. It's the way of life they chose to examine, to inquire. I guess you could say your foe's foe isn't your ally, but by becoming evil's foe, by becoming the antithesis of evil, you align yourself with justice, so to speak. Double negative stuff, sure. I'm also someone who seeks the type of right that corrects mistakes. It's my role to eject those who have broken the rules. Something about manuals that I don't get. But sure. Araragi-senpai, the program's about to end. It's best if you wake up now, isn't it? You should at least enjoy the rest of your date with the person you're in love with. But when you have a chance, Araragi, please think of the question of what you think the right thing is. Let's talk about it again when I see you in real life. Towards the end of the episode, we'll talk about it again. We ask the question of her true identity, which is another thing that will be discussed the next time we see her. If I had to say something at this point, it would be that I am the principles of the universe. So, again, what I was talking about before, correcting mistakes is one of Augie's major philosophies. Getting things back to zero, correcting things so they are right, so they are correct. So again, how does that relate to Shrine? Shrine was moved from, the park to the mountain. I'm merely trying to correct this through means, but then there's a connection to Shinobu. So you're trying to get Shinobu out of all this as well? Are you? Is that the only reason you're including Araragi? How is Araragi important to all of this? Was the major mistake that he made that you're trying to correct the entire time related to Shinobu and trying to save Shinobu? Is that what we're getting at? Is that what you're trying to correct through your business here? Or is it something else? Again, so if we're implying some kind of conflict between, like, correcting mistakes and doing things right the first time, then your correcting mistakes implies that Gaia Nezuko is doing things right the first time, which would also match with the, ability to know everything. I know everything. Gaia Nezuko. I'm going to do it right the first time. What's more valuable there? Araragi, please give some thought to what you believe what right is. Well, we know what Araragi believes is what right is the correcting mistakes, is that humans are inherently bad, and there's value in trying to correct that badness. Evil's probably a more correct word there, but you know what I mean, though, right? This is why I think that Araragi's probably going to follow through with what Augie asks at the end of the episode, which is helping her in some way, and what he truly believes is right, and even if that's contrary to what the story would expect at this point, which is a lot of the Gaian stuff, and following what she says. Okay, I'm starting to understand this a little bit better, sure. We relate this to the map of space, and the pitch black of the vacuum of space, and the contrast of white and black, and all sorts of stuff. Don't think about this too hard, Araragi. Surprisingly, I might not need to be concerned with you anymore, now that you've returned from hell and have become fully human. More evidence to my Shinobu was probably one of the major motivators here this entire time, as well as, again, the whole Shinobu Araragi thing was the end of Kizu maybe the mistake there. It wasn't helping the demon was the mistake, but what he should have done was one way or the other, and there's this weird 50-50 thing that's a mistake with Shinobu, and now that we've corrected that, we might not need Araragi anymore. I beg of you, don't get taken by Gaian-san's slick talk. Concerning Shinobu, now in her complete form, or Hachikuchi Mayoi, who after passing away has returned and gotten lost again in this world, this time I wish from the bottom of my heart that you'll make the right decision and forsake them. So just tagging this onto the end here as well, I may talk about this a little bit later, but obviously this is also majorly in reference to justice and Araragi's view on justice and importance of justice, hence why we bring up Kaganui and the Fire Sisters earlier. It's been his belief in justice and that being challenged, and this has thematic meaning to his decision at the end of this arc as well, whether he will continue the party line with Guyan or join with Augie. Please help me. I do not know. Maybe I'm taking this a little bit too far, and it's not really a binary choice like that in the immediate future, but we will see. And then we wake up, and we're out of like the Augie hell zone, but sure. Yeah, I've got some thoughts about that. I understand that a bit better now, I think. Not as much about the constellations and stuff. The constellations, I think, are more thematic to the arc itself, but the whole planetarium Senju connection. But the Augie philosophy stuff, I think I get a little bit more on how she's been, what she's been thinking this entire time, and why she's been doing the things she's been doing. And now we're back to the Senju Araragi being cute hour, which is way more my speed. I could just speak to this, I think, with a little bit more authority. I think a lot of the, it was qualitative before, right? I needed to put a bunch of qualifiers before saying everything, where I think I can say Senju is cute with a little bit more authority there, I think. So they both fell asleep during the planetarium thing, implying that they're both pretty tired. I guess it was too hasty to go on a date so quick after exams, which, again, fair enough. You just did, essentially your HSC, your big exam after high school. You should be tired, right? You should be celebrating, but you would also be tired. We've actually planned a pretty cute date here. So, we go see the planetarium, we go look at the stars, then we go to a cool, science museum, then we get back in the car, go back into town, go to karaoke, we'll go bowling for a bit. Lots and lots of stuff that, I think that both of them would enjoy together. Yeah, we kind of study in the morning and then do the leisure stuff in the afternoon, which is probably a better way to do it than the opposite. We ask Araragi immediately for what his bowling high score is. I'm a complete novice at bowling, as in I don't think I've ever played before. I can think of you already planning some things around the idea of being in Araragi's debt and kind of him asking something of you. We play it for cuteness late in the episode. I thought it was more sexual than it was, where it's a little bit more about calling you Hitagi rather than Senju. Yeah, absolute obedience to the winner. Yeah, now I'm thinking more overall arc stuff based on, this absolute obedience theme through the Senju stuff. We almost have two rival factions trying to woo Araragi over to get his absolute obedience in this kind of way, giving oneself over to another party. How are we relating that to Guy and Augie, conflict? Obviously, it's played for the Senju side of it right now, but I'm thinking there may be a double meaning there, especially as it pertains to love, right? And self-love and obedience and giving oneself over to another person, giving another person agency, almost in a storytelling sense as well. Okay, there's definitely a lot of stuff going on here. Somebody could absolutely pop off on this arc. Yeah, cool. This is good. I like cute date stuff. You're never gonna get me mad that an episode is too slice of lifey, that it focuses on the characters too much and their interpersonal connections too much. This is the shit I live for. This kind of stuff, right? That's why I'm such a slice of life dork. That's why I like it so much, because you get stuff like this. This is good. This is good content. So again, as much as I go crazy on the Augie theories in this part, I enjoy this part just as much, for sure. Again, this whole episode's been buoyed by fantastic work in the soundtrack and, visuals and that kind of thing. It's just, Monogatari goodness. It's Shaft probably at their peak. I think some of the stuff in Sangatsu is really good, so I don't want to quite say that, but this is really good as well. It's just, mostly just really pretty, honestly. AMV porn, basically. We then get to bowling from the first frame to the fifth frame of the 10, I guess. She showed amazing skill. She was very, very good. From the 6th onward, she suddenly changed. Senju was exhausted. So she's planned this awesome date, but she's also very exhausted. I think there may also be some ulterior motives here that we've talked about, but sure. Fine, I admit defeat. I really like this face from Senjugahara, that one there, if I can grab it. Yeah, that's good. I like that. That could almost be a thumbnail. It'd be a very scary thumbnail, but it could be one. Yeah, you can order me to do anything, so I wonder what kind of lewd request you'll ask of me. If you had one, what kind of request would you have? Also a lewd request, of course. Ha 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 ha. Araragi settled on let's walk arm in arm until it's tea time. That's very cute. This is a very interesting scene. Essentially, like from memory, when I'll watch it again here, Senjugahara says basically don't trust all of what Guyan's doing, which may also involve some stuff with Araragi's decision regarding Augie towards the end of the episode, but we'll see. It's unclear what kind of battle Guyan is fighting, who she's fighting against, but you may be the rival here, right? You may be the thing she's fighting against. It's more of a hunch than anything meaningful. Compared to your viewpoint, where you only see what's right in front of you, that macroscopic viewpoint Guyan-san takes would definitely clash. So you only see what's right in front of you, right? Guyan's looking at this entire map. She's looking at like every force on the chessboard, on the shogi board that she can control. Where you're sea girl, save girl, and they would definitely clash in that you may try to save Augie, right? And that may clash as a viewpoint with Guyan. Yeah, but that's a very quick scene, so I'm unsure how much of it I should really take forward, but sure. Now we're doing karaoke stuff. There's a lot of cute meta references here, like you just heard Renai Circulation playing there for a mere moment. Or was it Platinum Disco? It was one of the two. No, it was definitely Renai Circulation. Never mind. Okay, cool. We're gonna do karaoke for a bit. You sing your opening as well. It's like the intro to your opening that starts. So you not getting a good score in that is kind of preposterous. The effect on their audio is great. It sounds like a mic. It sounds like they're singing into a karaoke mic that has a ton of reverb. The score that she gets is 82.107, which I think is very, very close to what Araragi gets in the end. You have very strong singing skills, but emotional expression seems slightly weak. It'd be better if you added more intonation to your singing. Okay. I don't know what this is, but sure. We get into some stuff where like you're like a mad high achiever and think 82% is a bad score, which I've definitely met people like that. But it's also used as like a diss to Araragi. You've been feeling this way your entire time, only scoring 82 and below. How could I do this? You know, it's jokes, it's banter. This is a song too. I don't understand what song Araragi goes to sing, but I've definitely heard the intro song, the intro bit to that song before. Chocolate Insomnia. What is that? Oh, it's a Hanakawa opening. I think it's from second season. Okay, sure. So you're singing a Hanakawa opening? That's kind of funny. And yeah, he gets a slightly higher score with an 82.4 relative to an 82.1. All elements are coming together at a very high level. Keep it up, and 100% isn't just a dream. Maybe these are mirroring almost exam results, right? That'd be kind of funny. So yeah, Senjugahara loses a game again, potentially on purpose, and asks for Araragi to carry her to the car like a princess. And I'll kill you if you say I'm heavy, which of course is reference to like first part of show. There's a line there by Senjugahara as well. You've got a lot of practice carrying underage girls under your arms, which, I mean, he has. That was embarrassing, says Senjugahara. I just saw hell. I mean, it's just all coming together, isn't it? We get to talking in the car as we're driving away. There's a quick fire, almost marriage proposal by Senjugahara, but sure, she just accepts. Actually, no, the question Araragi was trying to ask, it's regarding a gift. The return gift from the chocolate he received on Valentine's Day. At first, Senjugahara says that, oh, you're really worried about that? We've been together the whole day and you hadn't done anything like that, blah, 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 blah. But I think then she sees this as an opportunity to get what she really wanted the whole time, which was the whole first name thing that we talk about here in a bit. So maybe like trying to guilt him into it by the end. It's fine if you give me something when you feel like it. It wasn't like I made that chocolate expecting to receive something in return. Again, the chocolate as seen in the end of Owarimonogatari. Yeah, okay, it's definitely that. So she then gets an idea, you could see it on her face, and then she speeds super fast to this location, right? Parks the car. It's unbelievable. I can't believe that on White Day, one of the 3 big yearly events for couples, you didn't prepare a gift. I have to doubt whether you feel any affection for me, as we see a plane passing overhead as well, maybe some Hanakawa implications there. Yeah, all day today I was wondering what kind of surprise Araragi-kun had prepared for me. Of course, this is only after hearing that Araragi is worrying about it the whole time. Again, she wants to leverage this to get the first name thinger. She wanted a cabin cruiser as a present. I wonder if I should just kill myself. I do like this frame too. Please don't commit suicide. It's funny. Yeah, trying to bait Araragi into saying, I'll do whatever I can to make it better. Did you just say that you'd do whatever you can? Absolute obedience. This is more Araragi's speed. This is what he likes. He's a little bit that way inclined, if you catch my drift. She like fake cries. I did say absolute obedience for sure with these lips. Yeah, it's a very weird scene from Senju Gahara. Like she's just like it's almost like she's reading the script of okay, so she's got an end goal in mind, and she's just trying to place all the pieces in place to get to that end goal. That's the way I'm reading the scene. Are you willing to be absolutely obedient to my requests for the rest of your life? Sure, the rest of my life. Then what should I do? Call me by my name. And then, yeah, he's a little bit stupid. He's like, oh, but I call you Senju Gahara already. Nah, Hitagi. Call her Hitagi, please. And then, yeah, you can do Koyomi. That'd be something, right? Oh, so maybe she didn't... Okay, listen. Maybe she didn't try to fail in those games earlier. Maybe she was trying to win the entire time and then didn't get her opportunity to do so until now. Okay, maybe that works as well. I just thought she was kind of sandbagging. No, but she wasn't. She was just tired and couldn't sing very well that day. This is like almost like Giga Chad face as he says Hitagi too. So shout outs to Araragi. And then thank you, Koyomi. It's all very sweet. Yeah, this is probably the closest we've come to like romance in Araragi. In Araragi? In Monogatari. Maybe I'm losing my mind as well. Maybe I'm tired. Yeah, and it's quite good. They've executed it quite well. It's very snappy in the dialogue, which is appreciated. There's still a conceit to the scene. There's still like reveals and stuff of the mind games of each character. It's visually great. It's just good. It's well executed, I think. And this is the last shot we get of the episode because there's no more. Oh no, there's actually fucking heaps after the credits. So yeah, let's jump to that, everybody. That's definitely going to be like a thumbnail too, like right there. Yeah, that's a good thumbnail. All right, then we go to the Orgy Hell Zone. I've noticed it's quite dark. There's quite the contrast between white and dark as well, almost like it pertains to you or something. Anyway, so yeah, she's exhausted from waiting. How did you enjoy your last day with Senju Gahara-senpai? At the very least, I was considerate enough to avoid confronting you in the physical world. I waited till you went to sleep. If this isn't like alarm bells for Araragi, then I don't know what is, but sure. But saying last date is a misunderstanding. It's the last date of my high school life. There's going to be more dates after this, and Orgi thinks it'd be nice if there were as well. I don't know, is Araragi gonna die at some point? Again, it would need to be after April. Then we go straight to it. Araragi confronts Orgi about trying to have him exterminated, describing it as a sad false alarm is Orgi as well, not wanting to admit it to Araragi. I'd like an explanation. There's no way I'd do anything to harm you. Well, that's not true. That's what I told you, that I'm expecting you to make the right decision and withdraw instead of getting taken in by Guyan-san's slick talk. Did you ever mean harm to Araragi? It always has seemed like you did, right? You always tried to isolate him, and I always theorized it was out of some kind of spite regarding Meme, right? Something in that, right? Right? But that seemingly isn't the case. Can we justify that you never meant Araragi harm? That maybe it was all based around Shinobu in a weird way? I didn't mean any harm to the human you, Araragi, just the you that was an aberration that needed to be corrected. Araragi rebuts here. I cannot forsake Hachikuji and Shinobu. I have no surplus within my heart to make such a decision like that. I tried asking you because I have nothing left to lose, said Orgi. She's like, it's fine. It's fine. It's like that meme. It's fine. That said, it's disappointing. Personally, I'd like to see you voluntarily withdraw sometime soon, but pushing you too hard to do so would be going beyond my bounds. Let me correct one thing you might have misunderstood. I'm not the darkness. I don't understand what you mean by that at all. I'm not the darkness. I'm not the pitch black. I'm the light. Somebody else is the darkness in our two sides idea. You've descended to hell and you've gone on a date, so you might not have anything you look back on with regret anymore. But I currently have one thing in this town I look back on with regret. And again, I'm theorizing it's about Shrine, Shinobu, Park stuff, right? Something you wouldn't mind dying to achieve. Once you achieved this, you wouldn't mind if you died. Do you have such a goal, Araragi-senpai? Ogi has one, I have just one more. That's why I have to do it, even if I have to put everything else aside. Absolute focus on one goal. Street signs as well, which is cute. Traffic lights, anybody? Need some traffic lights, please? That's why if the leader of the specialists, Guy and Izuku, were to place a trap, it would be there. Because it's the one thing you want to achieve. And she knows everything. Yes, I know, but I still have to fall for that trap. In a kind of similar way to Tadatsuru, like being perfectly cast. Having to do something because it would make no sense for me not to, right? Like I have certain things about myself that I need to accomplish, and me not doing those would be against my very nature. So I gotta. Even if I know it's a trap, I gotta. I have to resign myself to suffer that counterattack. In other words, starting now, in a frontal assault and without dawdling, I'm going to fight the big sister who knows everything. But, Araragi-senpai, in this fight, can you be on my side? Turn to camera. Please help me. Little smile that I can't really read. And then end of episode. So let's go like back to here. Not I. What's something a little bit more evocative? Let's get... Turn to the camera, please. There we go. That's evocative. Okay. Discuss. You're very aware that you have a role in this story, right? And I think that everybody thinks it's the villain. Me included, for large swaths of the show. It's been very, very good at demonstrating you as the villain, actually. The whole time. Very, very good at it. We're challenging the notion of heroes and villains in a traditional sense, I think, right? Where Guy and Izuku would be the hero generally. Like, Guy should win. If I was writing this, Guy should win now. Guy should have already won. Why is there still 10-ish episodes, right? I think it's because we're going to go against convention. We're going to try to help Orki in some way and go against Guyan. Again, Araragi's got the penchant to help the girls right in front of him, right? Somebody asks him for help, he's completely selfless in that regard. Should we see this as a last-ditch attempt at manipulation or something actually quite pure? I don't know. I do not know. I do not know what this smile at the end implies as well. Like, that's very scary. I don't like that. But I don't like her face generally anyway either, so... Yeah, food for thought. I genuinely don't know what Araragi's going to do here. I think it would make sense for the story that we've written up to this point for him to help his friends and defeat evil, the darkness. But maybe you're not the darkness the entire time. Maybe you're not. And maybe we give you a chance. Maybe that's my read on it, I think. We will see. I think it's a very basic thing to have you as a simple manipulative villain. I think there's more going on. So I guess I can go write something now, maybe. That'd be cool. So yeah, this is my little summary. The next episode starts with Orgi invading Araragi's dreams as he sleeps in the planetarium, speaking in riddles about various constellations and their relation to the stories. Stories of the show. And then I'll go into it a little bit here. We got the relation between Orgi and the principles of the universe, potentially setting up the stars, potentially setting those constellations. We have our little mini anecdote regarding the Heracles story there as well. Was it? No, it wasn't. I'm lying to you. It was the story of old mate, the sage physician. You know what I'm talking about. The guy. And he did the bad, and then there was divine retribution. We're relating that divine retribution to the idea of correcting mistakes versus right the first time, and Orgi's actions in potentially correcting said mistakes. The mistake related to Gaian's crew, specifically these four and their relation to the revivification of Yotsugi, right? And potentially they've all been punished in time in a similar way to the way the sage physician was as it relates to immortality, something in that, where Meme, we don't know, but Tadatsuru went to frickin' hell and then got manipulated into a weird thing with Orgi, and then Kaiki got his head smashed in, and again, Kaganui, we don't know, but she's missing and it's implied to be pretty bad. So potentially Gaian will impact this as well, in that she revived Araragi from the dead and did all sorts of other stuff. Will there be some kind of principle of the universe, divine retribution style stuff there? We then get to talk about philosophy, again, specifically right thing first time versus correcting mistakes stuff, inherently good, inherently bad, blah, 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 blah. Is Orgi's philosophy with regard to fixing mistakes similar to Orgi? Huh? Araragi is what I meant to say. What does it mean to know everything in this regard? Is that the opposite to what Orgi's philosophy? She says her philosophy is around correcting mistakes, which is what we see through this part, right? Gaian's philosophy probably about doing things right the first time, right? She knows everything, she's going to do it right the first time. Which is more valuable? Which is more similar to Araragi? Should he think about what he really thinks, and is he a mistake corrector or is he a do it right first time? We know from the show that Araragi is probably a mistake corrector. How does this relate to justice, which is an important theme as well, especially through, again, those Orgi arcs early in Owarimonogatari, as well as, again, Fire Sister stuff, Nisei stuff. Like, very important concept to Araragi is justice. So yeah, that was a lot to take on, but also cute date. Cute date with Senjo Gahara makes up most of the rest of the episode, with Senjo trying to beat Araragi during the date in various things to get him to do something, but she keeps losing, ends up eventually catching Araragi in a weird white day thing where she tries to manipulate him into agreeing to some amount of obedience, and then she asks him to call her by name, and then he does, and then she calls him by name, and it's all very cute. Episode then ends in a post-credit scene with Orgi catching up to Araragi on the way home and pleading with him to be on her side in the upcoming conflict with Gaian Izuku. We do not know how this will go. I've got my theories, but I do not know for sure. Yeah, and I think that's when we'll leave it. This arc was great. I've just come to that realization upon writing this down, is that this was like all killer, no filler, right? It was kind of filler, but it was good filler as well. Like all the Senjo stuff, that's just cute. And again, I've talked about my ideas around stars in that regard, and the mother. I wonder if we'll ever learn what happened with the father, what Senjo was doing towards the end of the night with the father, right? You'd think it would have something to do with the mother and some anniversary in that regard. I think has been set up throughout the rest, but we'll potentially see in the future, or we won't, because Araragi isn't privy to it, and Aragi's the point of view character and stuff. Yeah, we're gonna leave it here. Lots and lots and lots to do and talk about. I know next arc is like 3-episode arc. I'm not doing 3 next week. I'm gonna be real with you, chat. I'm gonna be real with you. So I'm going to imagine that 1 then 2 is the preferred method there. So next week's probably going to be 1 episode is what I wanted to get across. But we will see. I'll consult the Discord. Speaking of the Discord, here's my shill stuff. If you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And of course, the Discord. Hit me up with all sorts of Monogatari goodness stuff there. And thank you for watching this far. These episodes are really good. This is probably the best season of Monogatari so far, if I'm going to be honest. Anyway, we'll see. I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.